Awfully good of you to stay. I've all but forgotten where I was. Ah, France. Spent a good 2 years there after I was made lieutenant and left Gallipoli. Winter in the trenches at Versailles wasn't something I'd care to repeat, but it was vital training for those who were just joining us. Trench life takes a great deal of time to acclimatise to. The damp, the dirt, the food. Never developed a taste for bully beef, but you'd certainly miss it when it's all gone. Ended up back with my old 1st Battalion when I got my captain's pips, though. It was quite a shock to see the boys I left in Cape Hell after so long. I certainly was glad to see so many of them had made it out safely. I only bought it shortly afterwards at Devil's Wood, where I'd been buffeted by the high explosives and dodging coal boxes. Nasty shells, lots of smoke. Hopped out of our dugout when I felt something strike my foot and noticed the heel of my boot has been completely blown away. My pal, Albert York, had a queer look on his face and was feeling his leg, so there was something wet running down it and I thought he'd been hit. Lucky as he was, the bullet had just nicked his water bottle. Immediately I took one in the shin and one clipped my shoulder just here. That was me, straight to the harbour. The saddest thing was that I lost the wonderful mushrooms I'd picked that morning when things were quiet. The nurse at the harbour said I was lucky to keep the leg. I worried about my nerves after that, so they sent me here to recover. All a bit grim, I know, I do apologise. You'll find most of the chaps here have a similar story to tell. Some of the unfortunate buggers upstairs had it much worse, you understand. The staff do their level best to keep us from seeing them, but they can't keep them silent at night. I prefer to stay out in the gardens until I can barely keep my eyes open before turning in, otherwise I can scarcely get to sleep. I always knew I'd end up like this. My father was a major, said soldiering was the best thing a man could do. I started to believe him in the training corps. The discipline suited me, but being a soldier and being at war are two very different beasts. I think this conversation would be better suited for my next meeting with Dr. Rivers. Let me tell you about the hospital instead. Let's see, well, the meals are soft and the beds are regular. Pardon me, that was shameful, I do apologise. Can't claim that as my own. Mr. Eyre gave us that during one of his hilarious monologues last Saturday. He told it much better than I can. He's a very entertaining and refreshingly wry. I thoroughly enjoy the little performances we have each Saturday evening. Miss Grieve plays the violin for us, Major Bingham is remarkable on the stage, and the boys in Mr. Williams' orchestra do a wonderful job with what they have. Williams himself has been a real sport in taking over as orchestra leader after Mr. Bates left us. They do have to make adjustments if they're an instrument or two short, but they always delight. They even performed Wagner's Tannhauser March a few weeks ago, despite the absence of woodwinds. Mr. Graves' violin was marvellous and kept the whole thing afloat. I hear him practising most evenings. He's truly gifted. Can't play an instrument myself, but I do admire those who can. Numbers was always my strongest suit. My uncle has a job waiting for me with his savings firm in Croydon. It's an excellent salary and I would like to keep the business in the family. He made sure I went to university before I went into service. My father took some persuasion, but he appreciates the value of an education. So, off I went to London, came back with an economics degree and a commission. Not that much of that is any use here. I've been asked to be treasurer of our little golf club, which I may consider. I've been negotiating the course fees, as 2 shillings a week is a touch steep for many of the chaps. I doubt you're interested in that, though. I expect you have more important things to do than listen to me. Perhaps if you're here this evening, I'll see you again. Have a pleasant visit and thank you for humouring a madman. Glad to have met you.